I'm back. How you doing? Guys, I've missed you lot so much. It's been really weird not chatting with you all every day. It's been so funny, but I've had a brilliant little break. I really kicked back, I relaxed, and within a couple of days, I was bursting with creativity. My head is just exploding from all the fun projects and videos and stuff that I want to start working on. It's amazing. You'd have thought that I'd be sick of doing videos after doing the whole 50 days of the quarantine diaries. Anyway, welcome back to a beautiful sunny day on the farm here in Cornwall. Today I'm going to take you out for a wander. We're going to go and pick some of my favourite springtime foragings, which are the beautiful, delicate little elderflowers, and then we're going to turn it into a few bottles of this Elderflower Cordial. Absolutely delicious. Whether you drink it with still water, sparkling water or soda water, whether you pimp a little cocktail or two with it, or if you have it on a cold winter's night, if you can make your bottles last that long with some hot water, it's just so yummy. And you crack that open at Christmas time, the smell will take you right back to spring. It's beautiful. So let's go have a wander and see what we can find. So here they are in all their frothy glory. Now each bloom from the elder tree, it's actually made up of tons of little tiny flowers. They're so dainty and pretty, and they smell just delicious. When foraging elderflowers, you want to make sure that the flowers are dry and that they're covered in as much pollen as possible. In this instance, pollen definitely equates to flavour. So aim to pick your flowers on a warm, sunny and still day. Pick them gently and place them gently into your basket. I am challenging you to get every single speck of that pollen back to your kitchen. I picked these flowers in mid-May, which is right at the very start of the elderflower season down here in Cornwall. Now I did have to work pretty hard to find enough flowers to make my cordial, but within just 2 or 3 weeks these hedges will be bursting with them. When I'm out collecting elderflowers, I use scissors as I find they disturb the pollen less than, say, using a knife. I also take this flat-bottomed wicker basket with me. I find it really easy to lay the blooms down gently in the bottom, and any stray bugs, they can just easily crawl away out through those gaps in the basket. The only other thing I like to take is this long-handled foraging hook. Now this was made for me by a really good friend of mine and I love using it so much. It's perfect for reaching up into those high branches and then dragging them down to my height. And it's also really handy for foraging things like blackberries and hazelnuts in the autumn too. However, before my friend Derek made me this gorgeous foraging hook, for many years you'd see me out and about with my bright pink kitchen broom. now I may have looked daft, but a kitchen broom works really well to reach up into those branches and hook them down. If you fancy going out foraging for elderflowers this year, then as with all wild plants, please make sure that you ID them correctly. This isn't a game and every year we hear of people that have picked and eaten the wrong species and either made themselves poorly or worse. So as always, correct ID is essential. It's also worth noting that the leaves and the bark of the elder tree are toxic. Now the flowers are 100% safe to eat, and they actually taste delicious just picked raw straight from the tree. Any blooms or flower heads that you leave on the tree, then come autumn, you'll find that they turn into bunches of bright purple elderberries. Now, elderberries are really useful in the kitchen too, but let's save that conversation for a few months' time. So now that you've collected your flowers, you want to snip off as much stem as possible. You can pull off the individual flowers either using your fingers or like the tines of a fork, but I really don't find this necessary, and when you're working with a big batch of elderflowers, it would take you forever. Oh, and make sure you snip over the bowl so that any pollen that falls doesn't get wasted. Next up, zest your lemon. Now, in an ideal world, the lemon would be organic and unwaxed, but at least here in rural Cornwall, that's not always possible. Don't fret too much, as any wax on the skin of citrus fruit is edible, i.e. it's not going to harm you, it's not poisonous, but it will be man-made, and there is a possibility that it's not going to be vegan if that's important to you. Dissolve the sugar in a pan of boiling water, then add the flowers, the lemon zest, the lemon slices, and finally the citric acid. Citric acid is a natural preservative that will help your cordial last for months in the fridge. Now give it all a good stir, cover with a lid or a clean tea towel and just let steep for 12 to 24 hours. Wash your bottles and lids in a hot soapy water, and then you want to sterilize them. Now you can just run them through a dishwasher, you can sterilize them in a low oven, but here I'm choosing to use sterilizing tablets. Now these are used to sterilize babies' drinking bottles, so I figured that they'd be good enough for my needs. Strain your cordial through clean muslin, or as I'm using, a nylon bag. These are made to use like a dairy-free milk out of nuts. Strain the syrup through into a clean jug and then simply decant into your bottles. Finally, write up some pretty labels and then you're ready to either lay them down in the back of your fridge or to give them away as lovely gifts.
So my friends,
there you are, another video in the bag. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I also hope that some of you that have access to some elderflowers, if you're here in the UK, they are plentiful, they're everywhere, and they're free to go and grab. So if you give this a go and you make a few bottles of this, please do let me know how you get on. And if you share any photos on social media, don't forget to tag me. I'm at Hedgecomber pretty much everywhere. So that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'm going to catch up with you next week for another fun adventure. Until then, beautiful people, keep smiling. Mwah. Over and out.